welcome to another edition of Mets Musings number 508. And it is not a happy edition of Mets Musings. The question to be asked: are the Mets a sinking ship? Swept by the Tigers. The bats went absolutely cold the last two games of that series. One run in the last 22 innings against those Detroit Tigers. Then they lose two out of three at home to the Rockies. Go on the road and lose two out of three to the lowly Cincinnati Reds. Now, this is a team in turmoil. This is a team in trouble. This is a team that needs help offensively, defensively, pitching wise. The starting pitching is not gone beyond 5 innings. Uh, except for Justin Verlander, had the best game in Cincinnati. I think he went 7 innings or so. Has not performed up to expectations. Uh, the show is turning into the injury report. Who we got this week? We got Max Scherzer. He was scratched due to neck spasms. Doesn't seem to be minor, but he's fighting not to go on the injured list. And he was scratched from tonight's start against the Washington Nationals. So we don't know when he is going to start again. It's Kodai Senga got knocked up a little yesterday, banged around, and so how reliable is he going to be? Justin Verlander is the only guy now that they can count on. He's pitched very well in his first two starts back, coming back from an injury, but this team is not hitting. Alonso and Lindor are killing this team, killing them. I think Buck Showalter's got to sit those guys down for a day or two. I know they're your big bats, and that's where the big money is, and all of that kind of stuff tied up with Lindor, but they are doing absolutely zero. And the strikeouts are especially for Lindor at an alarming rate. He looks like he's totally clueless. He's become Dave Kingman out there. He either hits a home run or he strikes out. And I mean, we can't have that. He's the kind of guy hitting second. He's got to put the ball in play. And Alonso's swinging for the fences still. Can't have that on this team. This is a contact team. They've got to make contact. Get guys on base. Let the big guys drive them in. Well, keep the line moving. They're not doing that this year. And it shows. It shows on the field. The pitching, the starting pitching, of course, they've had the injuries. We have not seen a full rotation yet. With Quintana hurt, and then Scherzer, Verlander. Verlander's back. Scherzer's got a little bit of a neck issue. Uh, Carrasco has a little issue, but he looks like he's on the road back. Quintana won't be back until I think June or July, maybe. Um, I know there's a lot of issues, but you know what? You got to suck it up, and somebody has got to rise up above it all and take charge here. Um, I thought Verlander with his performance the other day would have turned this around, maybe. But then Senga comes out and he gives up a bunch of runs in the first inning. And they're not getting out of that first inning clean. That's the key. And then it becomes a struggle because they're not hitting. So if they're down after the first inning, that's not good for this team because then they start to then they're pressing, then they're trying to score. Uh, what is the answer? I don't know. What is the bright spot? The bright spot has been Francisco Alvarez. Now, I know I said that he needs to go back down. He still needs seasoning. I still believe that. I believe his catching still needs a little bit of seasoning in the minors. However, he has proven me wrong. He is becoming more relaxed with more playing time and has improved tremendously, both behind the plate and he's starting to hit. He's been a bright spot. Brett Batty has been a bright spot. It's the two big guys, Alonso and Lindor, who have been sucking this team down. And Canha is doing nothing. I mean, they're pulling him out of the lineup now. Uh, Escobar continues to do nothing. Are there solutions? Who knows? I don't know. What I would do is I'd make room on the roster by either getting rid of Vogelbach or Escobar or Canha or all three of them. And I would bring up Vientos and Maurizio, move McNeil to left field, have Maurizio play second base. Guillorme can be his relief guy. And I would sign Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy is playing for the Long Island Ducks. He's only, 30 miles away or something. They should go out, scout him, see if he's got anything left. I believe he does. He can always hit. Sign him as your left-handed DH. You could use Vientos as your right-handed DH, or as your first baseman or your third baseman to give Brett Beatty a night off. And Vientos even played a little bit of left field, as did Batty. So look. He's not a glove guy, Vientos, but he does have some versatility. He can play first. He's not going to be Keith Hernandez, but he can play the position. He can play third. He's not going to be Brooks Robinson, but he's played the position in his career. And in a pinch, he can probably play a little bit of left field. Now, if you're not going to bring these guys up, then I don't know what the answer is. This team needs to shake it up a little bit. So maybe you gotta designate for assignment a couple of guys, like a Canha, like an Escobar, like a Vogelbach. Now Escobar's making $9.5 million, or $9 million. So I don't think he'd be the guy to go. But maybe he gets one of those phantom hamstring strains, and probably more the choice to go would be Vogelbach. He's not making that much money, and it would be the logical choice. But this team needs something. It's flat, and once they fall behind, they are behind, and I don't see anything helping him. All right, let's take a look at some of the news here. Most of the news is, I hate to say it, but it's all injury reports. Jimmy Yacobanis was placed on a 15-day injured list with a left quad strain. Let's see. Carlos Carrasco finished his first rehab start with the Mets AA affiliate Binghamton Rumble Ponies on Tuesday night and made headway toward a return to the majors. Carrasco had an elbow issue. He went 3 innings, giving up just 1 run in against the Hartford Yard Goat. So Carlos Carrasco could be on the way back. But again, he threw 33 pitches and 3 innings. Even if they get him up to 5 innings the next time, um, he's going to come back to the Mets and be a less than 5 inning pitcher. Part of the problem they're having is the bullpen is is getting worn out. They keep using the same guys over and over. They have to. The starting pitchers going 4 or 5 innings tops. Again, except for Verlander, got to fill it some way. Tomas Nido was on the disabled list as well, or the injured list, with a dry eye syndrome. Have no clue what that is. Sounds like one of them phony injuries that they make up just to get a guy there, get him off. But he is on the IL as well. So it's been a struggle this season for the Mets so far. As I said, to open up, are they a sinking ship? Not yet, but they're taking water. They are beginning to take water. Can they plug the holes in time and save the USS Mets? I know, remains to be seen, but we will keep an eye on it here. They've got to turn it around. A couple of weeks ago, we said they had a stretch of games against the so-called weak teams that they should be cleaning up and should be able to straighten out uh, this season. And part of that stretch, they've been through the majority of the stretch. And in those 3, 6, 9 games, they have gone 2-7. Now they open up a series with Washington, a 4-game series. They need to win 3 out of 4 here. Or no, not even an or. 2 out of 4 is no good. They've got to take 3 out of 4, if not sweep this series. They don't accomplish that. It could be devastating. It really could be, and I know it. We keep saying it's early in the season, but it gets difficult after this week. I mean, next week Tampa Bay comes into City Field for 3. Cleveland, then they travel to Chicago and Colorado. So it doesn't get easy. It gets harder. This was their streak to catch up. Remember last year, the Braves started lousy, but they had that streak where they won, 14, 13 in a row and made up all of that ground. That's what the Mets are going to have to do somewhere along the line. Whether they have that streak again or that kind of potential with playing 13 games like they had now against weaker teams. Uh, I don't know. We'd have to see as the season goes on, but this was their chance to at least get back in the race and stay close. Still a long way to go. And they will be getting bodies back, but you don't want to get buried so far in the standings that it just isn't going to matter anymore. And unfortunately, they're heading in that direction. All right, let's take a quick break and come back right after this.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com.
Did you know that Baseball PhD can be heard on BaseballTalkRadio.com?
Our shows rotate with other top baseball podcasts.
Now don't forget, that's BaseballTalkRadio.com.
With us, we'll help you get a PhD in life through baseball.
With BaseballTalkRadio.com, you'll hear the rest of the excellent universe of baseball podcasts.
Hello, baseball fans. You're listening to Baseball Talk Radio, the home of great baseball talk shows. At BaseballTalkRadio.com, you're going to find great shows like this one with the great Gary Mack and the MetsMusings podcast. And now back to the show.
Hey, we're back, and now it's time to go down on the farm. Well, the Mets signed Gary Sanchez, the ex-Yankee, to a contract, and he has played in his first two games for the Mets at Syracuse and has done quite well. He's 4 for 7 with 2 walks in 2 games since they signed him to a minor league deal. Whether that means anything, whether it's going to do anything for the Mets by signing him, we don't know. But at least they are filling out the roster with guys getting injured at the major league level. They're filling it out on the minor league level. So Gary Sanchez is a Syracuse Met, and so be it. Somebody that's not a Syracuse Met is Khalil Lee. He has been released by Syracuse and the Mets, and he's had a lot of off the field legal issues, and his performance in the field has not been very good. Now, a couple of years ago, everybody thought he was going to be a big star. He's got all the tools. The head's not right. It's okay, it happens with people. The head just isn't right. They just, whatever it is, they just don't have the right attitude. They can love the game, they can work hard, but there's something lacking, and it's a shame. Guy had the talent, had the speed, had power, got a great arm, and just couldn't keep it together. And then add to that his off the field legal issues, and it's too much. And the team can only accept so much. Mark Vientos and Ronnie Mauricio continue their torrid hitting. As of the other night, Vientos was batting .339 with 11 home runs, 21 extra base hits, and 29 RBI. Ronnie Mauricio was hitting .336 with 6 home runs and 19 RBI, and I believe he leads the the International League in doubles. Does Ronnie Mauricio. So with Syracuse, so those guys continue to hit and are banging on the door for a chance to get in here because they're doing a job that they're hired to do. And good on them. I mean, you get to the point, what do you got to do to get the call up? But we'll see. It could be the spark that this team needs. May has been good at Kevin Parada. He's starting to hit for Brooklyn. Parada is one of the Mets' first round draft picks last year, and he's got a 1.015 OPS in 7 May games. And he got off to a slow start, but now he's starting to come around, probably getting comfortable with the whole professional baseball. Last year, they drafted him and then he played in like 10 games or something. Not enough time to get a taste of it. Now he's getting more settled in, playing more regularly, and starting to hit for Brooklyn. So good on Kevin Parada. Alex Ramirez continues to have a good year, and as does Stanley Consuega for the Brooklyn Cyclones. And Binghamton has got a good pitcher there, Mike Vassell. He's allowed in his start. He started last night, had a good outing, 8 inning pitch, 4 hits, one earned run, one base on ball. He's got a 2.70 ERA for the season. The and the game before that, his start before that, he was allowed just one run in 6 scoreless innings and racked up 7 strikeouts. And it is a long jump, but it is possible we could see Mike Vassell up by the end of the year if things keep going the way they're going. And why not? Why not? Other guys have made the jump. It seems like the Mets never have a guy that makes a big leap. Okay, Michael Conforto, I think, went from Double A to the majors. But the Mets did. Sometimes you have to wonder if they're too conservative with some of their players. Um, I don't know. Sometimes guys do need seasoning, but sometimes you have to just put a guy and play a guy. It's nice to see that they're moving Batty up in the lineup. He hit in the second spot most of the time down in Syracuse, and you get used to hitting in a certain spot, and then to have him hitting eighth, and yet he was hitting. So now at least they've moved him up to fifth or sixth. Alvarez still batting ninth, but it seems that he's okay with that so far. As I said, in May, his bat has warmed up considerably, and he's starting to hit a little bit. So uh, that's good for the two kids. But Syracuse continues to struggle. They are 11-16 on the season. Let me see. Let's call up the standings here. See if we can get it. Binghamton is 13-16 on the season. They dropped a game last night against Hartford in the 11th inning. Uh, Brooklyn is at 11-16 on the season. Minor league teams are struggling again, but St. Lucie is the big struggle, 8-22, and that's really a surprise because St. Lucie, of course, won last year, but it's a whole bunch of new guys. It's all prospects. They are in last place, St. Lucie, in their division. Let's see, where is, well, here we've got, I keep getting St. Lucie. It keeps coming up, but those are the records for the minor league teams. Should have wrote them down for you. 11-16 for Brooklyn, who have been struggling, and they were hanging around the 500 mark, and then they had a bad series. And the way they do these series now, the 6 game series, it's a little boring, to be honest with you, but it does cut down on the travel, and that's what baseball's all about, saving money, and cutting down on the travel. All right, let's take another quick break, and we'll be back to wrap it all up right after this. Or maybe not. Okay, and we're back, and finally tonight, we have a retirement. Matt Harvey, the Dark Knight, who helped pitch the Mets to the 2015 World Series before seeing his career derailed by injuries and an MLB suspension for drug use, announced his retirement last week. To the fans, most importantly, the New York Met fans, you made a dream come true for me, Harvey wrote on Instagram. A dream I never thought I could be true. Who would have even thought a kid from Mystic, Connecticut would be able to play in the greatest city in the world, his hometown? You are forever embedded in my heart. Goodbye, baseball, and thank you. Matt Harvey retired. What a shame. What could have been, and yet, again, a perfect example of the high life. Uh, Too much too soon, too much hype. He was terrific, but the injuries derailed him. And you have to wonder, was the high life, the New York City, the Manhattan, and, the bars, the girls, the sporting events, did he not take care of himself, and did that cause a lot of these injuries, or helped to cause the injuries by not taking care of himself? We'll never know. He's the only one that knows that. But Matt Harvey calls it a career, and what a career it really could have been. But a class act. He goes out with class, and thanking the New York Met fans especially. So, uh, thank you, Matt Harvey, for 2015, and pitched his heart out in that World Series, and we'll always remember you as a New York Met. All right, and that's going to wrap it up for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll join us again next week. And don't forget, if you're catching us on YouTube, to hit that subscribe button, as well as that bell, so you'll know whenever a new show is put out. And also, you can subscribe to us on the audio version of the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you listen to a podcast, you can get MetsMusings. So hit that subscribe button as well, so you'll always know when a new edition is out. And as I said, that's going to wrap it up. Mets have a 4-game series with Washington, and let's hope for 3 out of 4 on this one, because it's not going to get any easier. All right, I will see you next time, but until then, remember to keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. I'm Gary Mack, and I will see you next time on another edition of Mets Musings.